Okay. All right, calling meeting to order number 71 for the Municipal School Skating Rink Building Committee. February 29th, 2024. Good morning, everyone. So today what we're going to do is to go through the notes in the bills, and then we're going to spend most of the time talking about budget. So bear with us and we'll get there. All right, so let's do bills first. Jake?
Yeah.
Jay?
The cover sheet for.
Can you bring that up?
To be able to.
Bless you.
That's you.
Yes, maybe.
Yes.
Can you make him co-host? Chair.
Take your co-host. Okay.
Jake, I've got it on my screen. This is Don White. If you want me to,
Just somebody bring it up.
John, I'll make you a co-host.
sure.
There, you got it.
Okay. Can you see the requisition?
Yes.
Yes. I was looking for the summary table.
This, Mark?
Oh, the summary table of all the various invoices.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I've got that too. I'll pull that up.
John, you need to maximize your screen as well. We're seeing all your emails in the background.
Let's see.
Find the summary sheet.
Sorry, this works different than a Zoom, a Teams that I'm used to. How do I get out of, what is being shared now? Because I can't see that.
We see your email screen.
Alright.
There we go. Okay, now we're seeing just a blank screen, Don.
Hey, did you have the summary sheet?
I have everything.
Yeah, so
up as
put
well.
it up there.
Okay.
Jake's gonna pull it up.
Alrighty, thank you.
Yep.
Here we go.
There we go.
Okay, for the committee. We have backup for all of these if we want to discuss it in more detail. And we'll go down the list. First one is for Skanska, and it's their requisition number 2 for $398,493.09. And that's including for demolition. Is that correct, Mike?
Yep.
Full demo, right?
No, the full demo will be with February. This is through January.
Correct. This is a majority.
Okay.
Majority of it. So with that is, I'll take a motion to approve.
Making a motion to approve the discussion before we do that.
Then we'll have discussion. Okay, discussion,
Second.
second.
My one bit of discussion is, it says in the summary sheet you sent around, it's a draft in review.
So it has been reviewed.
So it has been reviewed.
That's completed.
Great.
Correct. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Unanimous, okay.
Do you want to make sure you get your folks on the screen?
Here's them.
Did you hear? Okay.
I'm gonna figure out a better way to do this time. T-Gas, design services through 2/8/24, 226,033.86. Ongoing design.
Motion to approve.
Second.
That's Dante Mazzioli, Bill Shea. Discussion, anyone? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, there's two for McPhail. I'll do them both together. They say both for geotech review, but one is for the 1877, I believe is for environmental, but it doesn't matter. They're both for McPhail. So one is $1,877.50. And the second is for $447.50. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, thank you. CHA through the end of January, 1/31/24, for $30,000, which is in the contract for the monthly fee. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All, discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, so this next one is for temporary electric for powering the trailer or any electric uses on site.
Who owns that though?
Under contract, we own it.
It's we owe power to them.
We owe power to them
Okay.
under the contract.
Thank you.
Yep, you're supposed to wait for discussion.
I'm sorry.
All right, not a problem, but
I could cover that one, so that one doesn't worry me.
okay. So it's $1,048.87. Do I have motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Billy? Okay.
Okay, so
Discussion?
Is that monthly, just out of curiosity,
It's
or?
gonna be a monthly,
But that 1,000,
Monthly amount.
that's a couple months.
that was setting the poll.
That was setting the poll and that was a monthly charge. I can't remember what the monthly charge was, but it wasn't.
Two charges on that bill. I don't know if one was setting up and one was the power.
I think one was setting up.
It was.
Yeah,
It's definitely not the monthly.
Probably a couple hundred.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I think. I just wonder if it's $1,000 a month, it actually becomes a big number
We
every
gotta
month.
get the PV panels in quick.
Yeah, all right.
My only comment would be if Skanska would please lower the temperature in there. Seems like you're using a bunch of electricity.
That's because there's a lot of people in that room, yes.
Wow.
There's a lot of hot air circulating.
Motion, we have a motion to approve on the table. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. We'll sign those and get them moving. Dawn, did you follow up with Matt, relative to invoices getting paid? It seems like we were behind. I sent him an email, you sent him an email. Did he
to Matt.
respond?
I'm sorry, I sent an email to Matt summarizing everything I saw that was outstanding. I will follow up with Matt today.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Meeting notes.
I sent them around a little while back. I just had a small grammar change. Do I need to, you guys would like me to pull those up?
No, on you, Anne Marie.
I know, guess who's the grammar queen?
Thank you.
I move acceptance of whatever date those minutes were.
2/7.
2/7.
Thank you.
Just
2/7.
2/7?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Tom Caputo, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay.
Mark,
With
can
that-
I ask a really quick question
Go right
here?
ahead.
And it's in the writing category. I sent you a draft of the annual report. It's due tomorrow. If you're okay with it, I'll just pass it in. If not,
I have not seen it yet, Anne Marie. But
okay, I'll
let
send
me,
it to you
let me
again.
take a quick look at it today and I'll send it back to you.
All right,
Can you
excellent,
send that
thank
to
you.
me in email?
I did in your account that you get the
Gmail?
message, I'm not here.
The Gmail account. Okay,
Yes.
I have been a little behind in my Gmail account.
No, I get it. That's why I'm just kind of bringing it up.
I
I
love it.
sent
Thank
it
you.
about a week ago. All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Getting on it. Okay. So let's talk about budget. First, I'd like to tell and notify the committee, or not notify, but inform the committee that we received a budget from Scansco, an updated budget on February 16th. The dollars were relatively high. So the working group, which consists of 5 of the committee members here, TGAS, CHA, and Skanska have been working over the past week, typically meeting either 2 or 3 times a week to try to resolve and understand the numbers. And that's the biggest thing. And that's why last week's meeting was canceled, because we hadn't had enough time to really delve into the numbers of why there was a variance between where we were in September 11th to where we were in February. We got a new budget on the 24th and then another one on the 27th of February, which February 27th one we discussed yesterday, and it's been reconciled. And what that means is that there may have been things in the plans, because Skanska's estimate on the 15th, 16th was looking at the plans and putting all the costs that they saw on the plans on the drawing. After input from CHA, the committee, and especially TGAS, some of the things that they were pricing were not, in fact, real activities that need to be done. So they have reconciled that and got back to another number. Unfortunately, that number is still over where we need to be or want to be, which would be the budget of 29.9. We need to have more digging into this, and what we're now putting together is a menu, I'll call it, that will have various options to potentially remove from the project to get the project back to the 29.9. And that will be presented hopefully by next Thursday at this building committee meeting, and we'll be able to go down one after another and be able to vote on whether or not we want to leave it in or not leave it in. And I'm not sure, even with all of that, we should be below budget with all of the things we have on it, but some of those decisions are going to be very, very difficult. I'll just give you some examples of what we're looking at is taking the entire eyebrow off the front and side of the building, which means that's the overhang, the 5-foot overhang, that would be deleted. That alone is $175,000 to $200,000. So those are the kind of things, what we're trying to do, and we're separating them into 2 different categories. One category is for not impacting program. Another category is kind of in between, is just taking things out, but it will impact programs somewhat, but you'd be able to put them back in again at a later date. And the third item, which is the nuclear solution, is to really not change the square footage, but to change what we have in it. And that could include things like not having dressing rooms or something like that. We'd rather not go there because that takes away from what we're trying to build for the town of Belmont. With that, I'm going to open it up for questions from the committee. Oh, Dante, would you like to make a comment?
I'll make a comment a little later.
Okay. Anne Marie?
Yeah, sorry, I can't find raise hand on this menu here.
Okay.
I think it would
If
be,
people would just raise their hand or just speak up. It's open to the committee first.
I think it would be really helpful for the full committee to see the material ahead of time. I mean, I feel like we are really in the dark with what's happening. You know, everyone on this committee has been appointed to this committee because we have some kind of expertise in some area of this. And I think if we all could see the material, yes, that's unwieldy. Yes, there's a lot of us, but each person might have a perspective that would be very helpful.
I don't disagree. put it bluntly, is we didn't want to distribute it until at least the numbers were scrubbed, Anne Marie. And I think we're almost to that point. And then that before next week's meeting, we would provide all of this information to the committee so that they will have it. But to just send it out on the 16th without having it reconciled, we'd just be going in circles. In fact, the group in CHA and the architect, we've been going in circles for essentially 2 weeks. And to just get it to the point we're at now, it's essentially been almost a 10-day exercise.
All right, I understand that,
Okay,
but it's very concerning that there is such a jump in the cost between September and February.
Okay.
So I think everybody wants to see that and figure it out.
understood. The two biggest issues in the budget, Anne Marie, is one is the site work, and we met with the civil engineer yesterday, but the site work cost has gone up almost $1.5 million. We're trying to understand why that is. The second issue is the schedule has had a major impact on carrying that schedule on for 4 to 5 months of additional time. That could total about $700,000. We're also working on that. But those are probably the two biggest issues right now we have for why we have a budget problem. So we're working through that, and after yesterday's meeting on site civil, Skanska will relook at those costs and will be getting back to us so that it's essentially another reconciliation of what is shown on the drawings and what we actually have to put in the ground.
Okay.
All right.
So Mark, once the reconciliation is done, is the plan to have a summary sheet?
Tom Caputo.
Sorry, Tom Caputo, have a summary sheet that shows everybody kind of where we are and then walks through all of the VE opportunities, right? Such that the committee can look at them and make the determination as to whether or not that's a value engineering opportunity we want to take or not.
I would think we would give them the full cost estimate.
Yeah.
With the variance sheet that we have on it, and then a sheet that has the menu of what deducts we can do and on those 3 categories I talked about. That's what that's what we're trying to get to, Anne Marie, is to provide you all the information we have, but to make it sure that it's hopefully as complete as it can be right now. Because it was not complete before.
And Mark, as part of that, Dan Halston, just as part of that summary, will we not only have kind of how to reconcile and what items we might want to drop out to meet budget, but also some explanation of kind of how we got there in terms of the numbers that are now in excess of budget?
Yeah, you'll see that in the variance. You'll see that we have a variance sheet that CHA is putting together that compares the dollars from 9/11 estimate to the most recent. Right now it's 227, and it'll probably be sometime this week, so that you'll have one like, well, say March 1st, which will compare back to the 9/11 estimate. So you'll see what the variances are and where the deltas are. All right?
Thanks, Mark.
That work?
Yep.
Dan, Tom Caputo again. I'll say this from my experience on the high school and from seeing a little bit of what we're dealing with on the rink now. Part of the challenge, part of the time, I think, is actually going in and trying to sort some of those variances out, because the September budget estimate versus where we are now, some things have been reclassified. So it's not simply looking at, what was the specific spec that was put in that line item in September and what is that now. A lot of things are moving between budget line items. So part of it is saying, wow, there's a $500,000 variance in that particular line. Is that truly just $500,000 more in expense, or did we reclassify hazmat from one line to the other line? And I think that's part of the challenge, is untangling all of that and having it all true up at the end.
I call that reconciliation, but yes, that's correct. And then we also will be identifying, Dan, the unknowns we have encountered. For instance, the oil tank, the asbestos under the main rink slab in the existing rink, which requires asbestos removal. And those right now total somewhere in the $326,000 range. So those will be on a list also, Dan. All right. So we're trying to give you give everybody in the committee a complete budget look as opposed to working all 12 of us through sausage making, let's put it that way, is we're trying to simplify it. And the intent, Anne Marie, is not to keep you in the dark, is to try to make sure when we deliver the information that it's as accurate as we can get and we all can understand it. Is that helpful?
I, for one,
Yes, and I appreciate that. I'm sorry, Dan. I just want to make one point, and that is, well, 2 points. One, as we go through this next week, I think we need to identify who owns what. So there may be some discussion about who owns, for example, the oil tank issue.
Yes.
And then secondly, I think we have to be very, very clear with everybody, and I'm going to be blunt, particularly with Skanska. This is not the high school project. There is no extra money. You know, we're facing an override. We're facing, you know, budgets that don't work in the town. There is no saving money that's going to come, you know, in on a white horse at the end. There's nothing. We have to be at this 29.9 or under. And I think we've got to be very clear on that with everybody. Just needed to say that. Thank you. Sorry, Dan. Thanks.
no, I was just going to say,
Before you go there, Dan, Anne Marie, the 5 people in the working group have been hammering that message home from the get-go.
All right, great.
Especially with Tom sitting beside me. It's very simple. I just
Yeah,
push a
all right,
button on, I
thanks.
just push a button on Tom and he said, we don't have any more money.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Dan.
no, I was just going to say, I appreciate the effort of the working group. And so I'm not critical at all. And I thank you all for the work that you've been doing behind the scenes and look forward to what you send along before the next meeting.
Thank you. Any other comments from the committee? Just raise your hand if you can.
I'm watching the participant
No.
list. No hands raised.
Anyone from the committee here in the room? No. Ted, would you like to make a comment?
Not at this point.
No. Okay, and Skanska said we're not going to. Okay. That went a little easier than kept me up all night, but that's okay. I don't have anything more for today. Would anybody like to bring up any new business?
No hands raised.
No hands raised? All right, so we'll set up a meeting for next Thursday at the same time. I think we ought to probably plan for it to go till, say, at least 9 o'clock.
Are we going to switch the weekly meeting to Thursdays from here on out?
Oh, that's a good point. Is Skanska requested to have the OIC meeting not back to back with the building committee meeting? And if it's all right with the committee, can we go to Thursdays at 7:30 as opposed to Wednesdays? And I'd like to, any input from the committee on that? Is that doable?
That's okay for me.
Okay. Yes, Bill, that's what we'll do
Thank
then. And so the OIC meeting, we meet with Skanska at the trailer on 8 o'clock on Wednesday mornings. And then we'll meet with the committee on Thursdays and we'll decide whether or not that is weekly or bi-weekly. For a couple of weeks, I think it's going to be weekly. And I just asked a question for you, Anne Marie. Is yesterday I tried to get to the trailers on Concord Avenue and I thought I was on the expressway at 5 o'clock. Is that every
Welcome
morning?
to my life.
Is that every morning?
Every freaking morning, every afternoon. Yes, yes.
I mean,
That's
it was backed up from Concord Avenue up across School and Orchard.
You got it. Yep. It goes all the way back out to Washington
not be
Street,
meeting at 8
Common
o'clock.
Street,
What time does school start?
8.
Traffic is gone by 8:05.
8:05?
8, yeah.
Okay.
But you've got grades 5 through 12, all coming in at the same time, most of them down here at the new building and a couple of grades up at the Chenery, but even that Chenery stuff ties up everything down here.
7:30, you're gonna get to,
Yeah.
7:30.
Yep.
Get to by 8, I know.
Yeah, we'll move to 7:30 then. Okay, that we can take that offline, but
Mark,
that,
just one suggestion for next week's meeting.
Tom Gazunas.
Tom Gazunas, thank you, sorry. Having gone through several of these VE review sessions in the past, it is much easier if it is done in person in the room. everybody's looking at the same screen. You know, the discussion flows better. So I would just encourage those that can make it in person to next Thursday's meeting, that we do that and perhaps try and get
No, I'll move it to the
larger
Homer-
room.
I'll move it to
Right.
the Homer building,
Right.
all right?
Okay.
Elections. It's after the fifth.
It's Thursday, so that is after.
That's election.
Yeah.
Okay. That room's being. elections.
Homer? Conference room.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll still have to dial in. I'm gonna be in New Haven, so.
Yeah.
Okay, but,
Sorry.
No,
Homer would be available.
Right.
Okay.
we definitely will make it hybrid, but I just am encouraging people if they can make it in the room personally. Experience has shown me that it just goes better.
So. good. All right.
And then we'll probably end up meeting weekly, right? Because can't imagine we're gonna get through everything next week. So I think you
We're not
said
gonna
this,
get out through everything next
but
week.
so there's probably several weeks of a couple hour long meetings if people can do it. To
I
get
think
through.
even to an hour and a half.
Okay.
If we can.
Yeah.
Yesterday's was 8 to 11:30, so. I get to work one of these days. Anyway, with that, I'll have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Bye.
Aye.
And committee, thank you for your patience. This is it's a difficult task, but I think we're trying to get through it, or we're getting through it. Thank you again.
Thank you.
See you next week.